In any case, the radars are being worked upon, and they certainly are going online. Everything looks very beautiful here. It looks like I was completely right. The Soviets are completely abandoning this very powerful position that they had, as you can see. It looks like they will be moving everybody. Also, they have successfully manned Stalingrad front. So what happens when we're pushing them? We're not only connecting our front line, we're also making them a lot more concentrated. In any case, the front line stretched to an extent that was never seen before, but at least at this point, all Axis powers are in action. As you can see, organization is in a really good standing. That's something to note. So that means our forces are supplied. Something I really enjoy seeing. And we are fighting them. So that was information about mercenary units. Finally. So what will the Soviets do? I think they will let go Finland. This will make us stronger also, undoubtedly, now that the Finnish can concentrate on a good enough front line, forward front line. Enemy center here is holding very firm. We have maybe 97% of all the marshes covered, so the front is being held by planes, and it's all about the Nazis really here. We are currently in the south and Stalingrad front with our command, and the Nazis are in the center. And as you can see, the Soviets are manning the center with many tanks. We have many tanks also, but not nearly as many as the Soviets do. And I see that some of the Soviet tanks are of a really high class. However, for as long as we can hit them, it's fine. So we have two anti-tank regiments in our Axis Powers People's Storm Division, and these are huge. Obviously, piercing attack over 50, hard attack over 47. So when these meet tank divisions, they will undoubtedly do a lot of damage. And that's how we design these. We design these as a very powerful anti-tank division. So every single man and woman in our Axis People's Storm division are trained specifically to fight tanks, and a lot of effort was put into them being able to meet tanks somewhere out there on the field and destroy it, instead of being just overrun by tanks. So they all have been issued with all kinds of anti-tank weapons like dynamite-like sticks and anti-tank grenades. they have specifically been trained to fight tanks with anti-tank regiments. At least 2 of these were created, so it's good. I see that quite a bit of movement is once again being adjusted to the south and into the center. So we're pouring troops from Stalingrad front and we're pouring them into the center here. It looks like the Nazis have made a successful breakthrough in the center here. As you can see, they're using very, very heavy tanks also. And hopefully we can support this with our offensive. We estimate that another supply of Axis peoples divisions would come in the next 2 to 3 years if the war continues in the same pace. The thing about it is that we don't want to have simply draftees who had 2 or 5 months training. We want them to actually kind of feel that they were trained properly before they went into war, because we kind of realized that just sending a division out there and seeing how they all get slaughtered won't win the war for anybody, because a lot of effort is being put into kind of hoping that they can achieve something. So they're being fed, they're being well taken care of, and then they die, you know, in a couple of days just because they like couldn't do much about it. So that's the thing. Here we see how 2 Soviet tank divisions are very, very successfully deteriorating organization of our troops here, and these kind of battles are really, really difficult for us to win. And this is huge. Based on the numbers, what can we say? 4,100 tank brigade. They have so many of these, and we're consistently attacking them. Even here, our light tank divisions are meeting them. However, our organization is falling at a much, much faster rate than theirs. So the Soviets are undoubtedly able to hold this. Besides that, I'm so surprised that after sending so many troops back, the Soviets are still holding this region, this area, and there are so many of us tied up in here. It's crazy. It looks like just nothing can be done about that. In any case, we'll try to keep the fence alive with whatever we can. Slowly but surely here in the south we are pushing forward. North Africa has been successfully taken by us. Dishal has been successfully taken by us too. And Africa is almost Italy's. Here Italians going to fight Americans in Africa also with their African forces. Maybe they would even be able to deal with the French here. And it looks like the entire Africa soon will be controlled mainly by Italy. All the areas here that can be accessed will be held by Italy. So that's a thing, obviously good. Finally, here's a connection happened, so the Japanese are fighting with the Axis troops. On this side, they did manage to close this position here, and the Soviets are being pressed. Here in the beast's belly, the Soviets did manage to push us back. Looks like they are successfully doing that. So these fronts won't connect just yet. However, on the eastern front itself, even from the Finnish side, quite a bit of successful effort has been put, and they are managing to do it. If only they could cut all of these divisions off, right? They would win this, and that's probably what they are trying to achieve here. We will see. So the Soviets are having a very hard time fighting the newly formed Axis forces, and many battles, as you can see on land combat chart here, are taking place. And it's good that we are winning most of these. It's hard to say why they can't hold this. Look at that. So that's about the concentration. Now the tanks are everywhere. However, there's a silver lining to that. We, as you know, are very well equipped with anti-tank weaponry. Here we have Instagram light tank division. We have multiple of these. It's just that these are light tanks, which means that they're not that good. Another thing I like to see is that our forces fight together mostly. In any case, they're fighting under the professional soldiers' leadership rather than as I wanted at first. But that there was no other way. It looks like without the proper leadership, nothing would happen. So I was expecting to see a very kind of fanatic fighting, but it looks like, because the draftees, I thought them to be a little bit kind of unprofessional, but it seems that in the face of the Soviets they became as professional as anybody else. And here fighting is taking place all along the front line. It's September, so it's becoming chilly, 5 degrees or so, and we are pressing the Soviets pretty darn tight here. Okay, let's just do that. Look at all of this fighting that's taking place. That's so beautiful. It's good that we have superiority here. Our forces are taking extreme damage here. I see. Do we are able to do more research? It looks like we are 3-man turret. Wet ammo storage. Okay. Anti-personnel defenses. Good. Armor plate thickness. Good. So this will make our armor just a little bit better. We increased our infantry strength as much as possible. Let's increase unit strength. Here's some command. It looks like we maxed out almost everything here. Okay, things are not looking bad at all. Not looking bad at all. Okay, let's have this. And we can stay. Let's mostly watch how our frontline troops here are fighting. And so far they're fighting very decisively. I would like to know quickly how the Soviets are doing here. For that I need a bunch of spies. That's exactly what our nation needed, our Axis forces needed. So, our spices made a total of over 1,000 industrial capacity, so they have still quite a bit of everything. It's just that they don't have much fuel left, but they are increasing their infrastructure rapidly through the board, which is the only thing that they can do now, really. And that's good for us. That's very, very good for us, because in this case, the supply will travel much easier. And as you can see, some of these techs are really high. It looks like Soviets have even maxed out some of these to make their supply travel faster. Look at these lanes right here. They probably made these on purpose so that the supply could travel much faster. And that's obviously what's happening, no doubts about that. In any case, all in all, our progress is consistently becoming more and more steady. Moscow is once again in the reach, and I'm sure this gives everybody some time to chill. Lithuanians are still not part of Comintern, and they're influenced by all three powers. It looks like Lithuanians are going to be the only Baltic states that will be certainly free of foreign major power influence. What that does really kind of is very interesting to me is this area. If only all of these Soviet divisions would end up being surrounded. That's just incredible number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Approximately at least 10 Soviet divisions here could be surrounded and annihilated. The Soviets have been hit hard by these Axis people's storm divisions. That is crazy, because we kind of pushed in so much onto them. Yes, they have been cut off. Look at that. They have been completely cut off. Completely. That's it. The Nazi tank, very heavy tank division under the command of the Finns, has cut off the Soviets in Niyuk, Risha, and soon they will be annihilated. Soon. Here's Tumbrel, semi-motorized division, part of the 1st Army Group, are also fighting the Soviets here, and they've lost already more than 50% of their total strength. And they're led by a very experienced commander with a skill level of 6, which is godlike. And things are looking good. It looks like over through the board things are looking very good. Here, with the use of our inscription equipment, we can listen to their army movements. Here I see that the Soviets are amassing strength to attack these areas, but now the thing here is that they're gonna travel very long time, and it's unclear how long they will be able to fight. These are very difficult areas to fight in, because the divisions can just simply walk past each other. So, besides, look at these tank concentrations here. We know that there are quite a few of them, we don't know how many though. So once again, the Soviets rely very much on tanks, and tanks in those areas are very bad because they are undoubtedly running out of fuel. However, they can be very devastating in being able to surround and defeat the enemy. Here we see that the Japanese are finally fighting the Soviets north of Soviet Union. The British